Hey everyone, we want to analyze the charts, and it's in this video we're trying to look at the Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, ADA, LTC, and the Doji. All right. First things, if we refer to our analysis, we have been looking for. If we start with the Bitcoin, we have been looking for buy since the price was within this move, and we mentioned the first target was 34,550. All right. And as we can see, the price is consolidating within that range. Now, want to see whether we can look for continuation or not. All right. The first things is technically we can see we had a sharp move and we have a correction. That means if we get any trade setup from here, we will take the trade, but we need to be quite careful. The first things is we need to see the breakout of the previous top, which is this one, somewhere around 35,500, and also we need to see the breakout of the desktop as well. All right, we need to see the breakout. Mostly we are focusing on this one, somewhere around 36 and 36,500. We need to see the breakout of that zone, because if the price cannot break, still we can expect this one turn to a bigger flat, right? Anyway, if we wants to look for buy, still we can look at this one as a correction to look for trade. If we get any trade for buy, we need to see the continuation as a short move, and we need to see the breakout of this zone, which is the first as a target. We can expect the price tag 36,700, following by 38,500 as a target. That's why we need to see the continuation and breakout of this zone. But the first things we're looking for, the most important things, we need to see the breakout of the previous top, which is around 36K and 36,500. Okay, that's why if you want to look for buy from this correction, we need to be quite careful. And whoever get the trade from this correction, and if still they keep the trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. The reason is if we get a continuation, mostly if we refer to the indicators, we see we have a divergence. All right. And even if we get a divergence, we see the confirmation with the divergence. In that case, we can, if we move to forward chart, we can expect this one turn to flat, deeper correction. And we can expect either the price give us one more drop and retest the previous low, or we see the continuation, one more drop, we see the bigger running flat for next move. Okay, that's mean either from this, if we get one move up from this correction, if the price cannot break the 36,500, mostly we can see whether one more drop, whether that drop is going to retest the previous low or it turns to a running flat in relative to this. Mostly we expecting we look for a running flat, because if we see the running flat, we can look for continuation. All right, but the only things I want to highlight, if we want to look for trade from this correction, we need to be quite careful from here. It depends on the strategy the traders they use. We need to see the continuation as a short move. If it turns to a corrective move and the price cannot break this zone, mostly we can expect to get one more drop, at least similar to what we have here. Okay, and even if we get one move up, we see the price cannot continue. Right now, the only thing is right now we should be quite careful about these three ways flat. All right, when we're talking about running flat, we need to see the price at least drop to this zone. But at these times, as long as the price haven't break this correction, that's mean if you don't see the continuation as a short move, if it turns to a corrective move, at the first stage, we need to be both. I'm quite careful about the flat, three waves flat, all right? Anyway, at this stage, we are not looking for the sell, but we should know about the bigger picture. If the price cannot continue from here, what's the next? And the only times we can look for the sell if we see the confirmation first from the divergence, and second we see the sell setup. All right, anyway, at this stage we are looking for this correction. If we get any trade setup for buy, we will take the trade. And the next one is the ETH. Okay, and if we move to the ETH, we have been looking for buy since the price was within this correction, somewhere around 1900, that's 1.9k. And right now, whoever keep this get, I mean, still they keep this trade, they should book some profit, because the first things we can see here, if we move to this indicators, we see we have a divergence. But the MACD, if there is a continuation as a corrective move, mostly for both of them, we see we can expect to see the divergence. All right, that's why the first things we want to see the continuation, we want to see the breakout of 2275. If the price cannot break, mostly we can expect this one tentative correction as of what we explained based on Bitcoin, because if we move to forward chart, we can expect this one turn to a correction similar to what we had here as a flat. That's why we need to see the continuation and the breakout of 2275. Okay. Anyway, we are at this stage, we are not really, I mean, we don't have the confirmation for the price to drop. That's why we are not looking for the sell yet, but we need to know about this bigger picture. That's why if anyone wants to look for buying from this correction, they need to be quite careful. If the price cannot continue as a sharp move, we should know that we will have a divergence. If we have a divergence, we should know the first things is mostly we can expect to get the divergence, and if we had a divergence, mostly we can expect the price to drop. Okay, that's why the best place to look for buy was from here. Buying from here, this correction we consider as a short-term trade, unless this one turn to a deeper move. Okay, that's why in the bigger picture we need to be quite careful about this flat. And buying from here, we don't have really good trade setup. It depends on the strategy the traders they use. But if this one turn to a deeper correction, it can give us better confirmation for continuation rather than what we have right now. Okay, and if I move to XRP, we have been looking for the XRP. I mean, we have been looking for buying since the price was within this move. In my last analysis, when the price was within here, we mentioned we take out the trade in the break even. We have been looking for the breakout of 0.655, and whoever get this trade, they shouldn't be in this trade because as we can see, 3 times the price tag, it couldn't break. All right, that's why they should take out the trade in the break even. And what we can see based on, I mean, if when we refer to the XRP, the way it's moving is really corrective. Even we can expect the price to continue, but we are not going to look for trade if there is a continuation as a sharp move. The best thing is if this one can give us one more drop with the breakout of 58 cents, then we will have this flat. Then any continuation from there, we will take the trade. This is the best if we're looking for. But in a bigger picture, we have been looking for continuation. We wanted to see the breakout of the 74 cents. Okay, whether we should look for buy from here or not, it depends on the traders. Unless they trade based on lower time frame, they look at this one as a running flat for one move up, but this one is a short term trade. The best things, either the price drop from here or even the move a bit higher, give us one more drop, then we see the bigger correction, then any continuation from there. If for the bigger long term, I mean longer time, it can give us a better trade. Okay, and if I move to forward chart, we need to be quite careful. Again, we can expect this one in the bigger picture because most of the chart they have a flat similar to what we get here. That's why if he wants to look for buying, we need to be quite careful. That's why we mentioned let the price go as one more drop. We confirm with this flat. If we get this possibility and continuation from there, we will take the trade because right now this is what we have it. Okay, and if we move to 1 hour chart, if there is a continuation as a corrective, mostly we can expect to see the divergence. Anyway, we don't have really good trade setup. We prefer the price retest the previous low. Then if we see this opportunity, if we see the flat, we can look for one move up, at least with the breakout of the previous top. If he wants to trade within this move, the only thing is maybe we can consider this one as a running flat based on 15 minutes of chart. But it's a short-term trade. I won't suggest to look for trade. Even if anyone get this trade, they consider as a short term. As long as they get into the profit, they should start to manage. Okay. And even if we move to ADA, we have been looking for buy. And as we can see, the way it's moving is really corrective. That means we shouldn't be in this trade anymore. And technically, when we see this kind of the sharp move with a correction, we can look for one move up. The only way is to look for trade to put our entry above the top. Rather than that, we don't have any trade setup. But even if he wants to look for buy, the first thing is we need to see the breakout of 1.4. All right, at least this is what we are going to get. But our stop loss should be somewhere below this. In terms of the risk and reward, we are not going to look for a really good trade. That means we are not going to get a really good trade setup. Then it depends on the traders. Still, we can look for one buy, but we should know that simply the price can tag the previous stop. We see the divergence and we get one more drop, at least similar to what we have here. Okay, that means if anyone wants to look for buy from here, they should consider as a short term with the breakout of 1.4. If there is no continuation, we are not going to keep the trade because mostly we can see the divergence if we refer to the indicators. And even if I refer to the MACD, we will see it. Then from there, the price can give one more drop, at least similar to what we have here. We can expect this one to turn running flat for continuation. All right. Whether we should, that's mean if we want to look for buy similar to what we had based on a XRP, we wait for one more drop. Either the price drop from here, what give us one brave, I mean the price tag 1.4 and drop. That's mean as long as we get any drop with the breakout of 1.2, then any reversal from there we take the trade. But if we want to look for buy from this correction, we should know that is a short-term trade. And even in terms of the risk and reward, is not going to give us really good trade setup. And even mostly, I mean, even if we move to forward chart, we can see we have a correction. Technically, this is the correction for buy. But whether we should take or not in terms of the risk and reward, I will just leave it for the traders. Okay, as I mentioned, if we get any trade from here for buy, as long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. If the price can break 1.4, we can keep the trade. If not, then we shouldn't keep the trade, because mostly we can expect to see the divergence. Okay, and the next one is the LTC. We have been looking for buy for the LTC and our entry was at 130, and since the price was within this move somewhere around 133 or 135, we mentioned we move our stop loss into the break even, and whoever get the trade, they should be in the profit. And we at least we move still, we, if the traders they want to keep the trade, at least move their stop loss to break even. Okay, and if there is a continuation from here, mostly we can look for trade either based on the small correction similar to any of this or flag, but we consider as a short-term trade. We need to be quite careful. We don't see the divergence, but we can expect either from here, or if the price move higher, we can expect them to a deeper correction for next move. That's why whoever keep the trade from this correction, move their stop loss to break even or take out the trade. The best thing is at least move their stop loss to break even. Okay, because the way is moving is quite corrective, and we don't have really good trade setup for the next trade. And if I move to forward chart, and the only thing is we want to see whether we can look for continuation or not. For me, I'm expecting either, because most of the chart that we mentioned, we have a similar movement. Either this one turn to flat, similar to what we have here, and the price can give us one more drop and retest the previous low, or we can expect this one turn to one more drop, similar to what we have here for the running flat. That means in both cases, we can expect either the price from here or higher, we can expect to get one more drop. Okay, but right now we don't have the confirmation, and we are not going to look for sell. The only thing is any trade, the first things, whoever get the trade from this correction, they should at least move their stop loss to break even. And if we're looking for continuation, if the price continue from here, any trade either based on flag or small correction, we consider as a short-term trade. The best things is if we want to look for long term, if we get the deeper correction, if we get any flat which is running flat, then that one can give us better confirmation for continuation. All right, but right now we don't have the confirmation. That's why still we can look for continuation, but any trade is a short term. And even we have been looking for buy from the Doji, as we can see, even if we get a trade, the way it was moving is really corrective, and we shouldn't be in the trade as a, and that's why we should take it in the break even. And what I can see here, again, the way is moving is really corrective. Trading within this corrective move is a short-term trade. We cannot simply, I mean, we cannot get really good trade setup. Okay, and even we have a sharp move, the correction, the only way is to put our entry above the top. But the price can tag. If we refer to the indicators, we can expect to see the divergence, and even based on MACD, and then the price can give us one move up, drop, then we see the bigger correction and continuation. Whether we get this one or the next drop is good, the price is going to retest the previous low, we cannot I mean, we cannot confirm, but I prefer, if we see the bit continuation, the price give us one more drop, we confirm with this correction, then any continuation from there, we will take the trade. We need to see the confirmation, because if we move to forward chart, all right, the way is reversing is really corrective. Buying within this corrective move, we need to be quite careful. Either we should wait with the breakout of the previous top, we see the confirmation for continuation. From there, we look for trade, or we wait for one more drop, we see the bigger correction, then any trade from there we take the trade if we want to look for long-term trade. The reason is we want to wait for one more drop. At least the next drop can give us a confirmation of whether the price is going to retest the previous low or it is a bigger or deeper correction. Then from there, that's why the next drop can give us a confirmation. What is the next? So whether the correction as what we have here or the price is going to retest. If the price is going to retest the previous low, for sure, we are not going to look for buy. And if we get the opportunity for sell, we will take the trade. But if we see it turns to deeper correction, then any trade setup from there, we can look for next. I mean, the long-term trade for buy. Okay. Whether we should buy from here or not, the only way is to put our entry above the top, which I once suggested. If the traders can get any trade within the correction, they can look for trade. And what we want, we consider as a short-term trade. And with the breakout of this top, which is 27 cents, we have to start to manage. All right. That means any trade, if you want to consider this one as a correction in relative to this as a short move, is a short-term trade. As long as we get into the profit, we start to manage because of what we see here. Even the price can continue and retest the previous top, which is 29 cents. But mostly we cannot get a really good trade for long term. All right. Anyway, we don't have a really good trade setup, and whoever get the trade in based on our analysis in my last video, they shouldn't be in the trade. And in this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.